right, welcome back here, guys. I'm trying to get a quick video out here that's covering the dev stream from yesterday. Obviously, we got a bunch of new information, and I was kind of busy last night, so I wasn't able to get it out. But I wanted to get something out before the test this morning. So, woke up, getting this done, had a little bedhead, threw on the hat, got the coffee right here and ready. But yeah, let's get into it. This is going to be another kind of just freeform or non-scripted video. I got a lot of support from the last one, and that's awesome. I really appreciate it. I also got a lot of constructive feedback, and it seems overall it was good, but the biggest thing I need to do is just keep doing more of these so I get more comfortable doing it. I mean, if it was just me talking to a couple of you guys, that would be fine, like in real life. I've been a bartender for years. It's very natural for me to just kind of talk and hang out with people. But when it's just me and the camera, it's not super natural for me yet. But I'm going to keep working on learning. We had Kevin Bacon on as the guest. And it sounds like what they said is they're going to be rotating people in and out. I think during the AMA, Steven said that they're going to be looking at onboarding the new game designer or head designer sometime this fall. So we'll probably just get a rotation of people until then. And they're also back in the new studio. So they are back in the new studio, and so we'll start seeing the dev streams from there. We'll get a chance to see some of the other, people from Intrepid, which is awesome. It's good to see variety. And I kind of hope even after they get the new designer that they do keep up, getting some guests on here and there. Yeah, so it seems like they're still on track to drop the NDA on the 8th or 9th, or they're trying to at least. They didn't let us know they were doing or thinking anything otherwise so far, but I will say Intrepid is known for kind of doing some last minute stuff. I think the last pushback was like 5 days before it actually happened. I think a lot of that is they're working really hard and they're really hopeful that they'll be able to get it done in time, and then things just go wrong, and that's just game development. So we'll see if that's actually going to be the case. But right now it's looking pretty good. Update on the content creator program. They're still hiring an influencer relations specialist. And then they've rebranded the boot camp to be called a training academy. I don't know if that sounds any better or worse. Technically, I mean, obviously anyone who gets into it and they were hoping to make official content creator isn't going to be happy, but it's also a chance to show your dedication to the craft and start learning a little bit. And yeah, I guess the other interesting thing is she said not everyone gets into the training camp, right? There are tiers. So there will be those in the official program. There will be people in the training camp. And then I'm guessing that like a large majority are just going to be flat out rejected, right? And remember, you can apply again later. But anyway, so another interesting thing that I skipped over earlier is they are back in the studio. But Steven said the new studio is space for 300 members. And I know they have some people, I think, already getting hired up in Europe. If they're planning to have 300 members here, that's pretty good news, right? Steven is not looking at this as the end goal. The end goal is not Ashes. The end goal is a successful development studio with an original IP that is successful off the bat, which is Ashes. Little bit of a combat update. He talked about the action combat specifically and Q to lock onto a target. When he says that, he doesn't mean Q will lock on, then all your skills home in. He means that's like how you tab target someone. You can also use tab as well, but if you're trying to pick someone out of a crowd to use your tab target skills, you can hit Q to lock onto them, and that'll also then give you their health, or I mean, we don't get health bars in this game once it's released, right? But it'll give you their unit frame or their player frame, I guess target frame. There we go. It'll give you their target frame and the information you need to know about them. Other exciting news, we got passives today. And I'm not going to go over those in depth. I was thinking I was actually going to wait to do this video until we got until I was able to get in game and do an in-depth analysis of the passives. But I realized that's a video of its own. So stay tuned for that one. Probably tomorrow or Monday, I will have that video out specifically on passives. And then, yeah, it sounds like they're getting close to fixing this AI controller issue, which is causing the rubber banding and it's spiking memory usage. And it's kind of like a memory leak error, but that's the major stepping stone, I think. And if it's not fixed before the NDA is supposed to drop, I am torn. I kind of think that they should probably push it back again. I think it's gonna hurt the game's reputation less to push it back than to release with this rubber banding issue. If they, I mean, yeah, if they can get that fixed, I think we're good to go. They've got enough content banked up and ready to go. I mean, the stuff that the A1 testers are seeing to test this back end is probably not everything they're working on, right? They have the internal QA and they have probably been testing different systems within different builds of the game and all of that. Um, we have been going through a lot of siege testing. It's been very buggy and broken. We had one on Thursday that was actually it's the best it's ever ran for me, at least. Um, a lot of the bugs that were present seem to be getting fixed. That huge thing up in the top where it just keeps blaring on your screen about things getting capped and whatnot, that has been changed. It's now down in the bottom right. Yeah, I mean, we were a part of well, we did an attack and a defense. Our attack was awesome. We almost got into the throne room, which in my opinion is a huge accomplishment because the defenders are pretty stacked up. I mean, it's definitely weighted towards the defenders. And then when we were defenders, we were actually down 20 to 25 people, and so we're still able to hold them off. So yeah, we're definitely starting to figure out the strategy and all of that, and it's shaping up that this kind of objective based combat within sieges is going to be really fun, I think. And I don't want to speak too much about balance because we have to see it at 250 on 250, right? I think for the Alpha 1, the month long test, they're going to be trying to aim to get 250 on 250 in there, or at least more than we've been having. So it's hard to say what the balance is going to be when you have a lot more people to split up and get objectives done. And also, when you get objectives done, right, it means a lot more. Like when you down that dragon and get the buff, more people get the buff and it's more impactful. Got a little bit of information on fishing here. And so there were some different locations that he was talking about. So we might have like river, ocean, and lake fish, and then different fish within each of those for different regions, and then maybe different mini games associated with those. Really cool. The more side stuff to do, the more fun we can have. Like I personally am looking forward, if there's not one already in game, on like putting on fishing contests for our community or our guilds, and just being like, everyone starts now, go. And I would probably phrase it as like the most valuable fish comes back. I also hinted a little bit at treasure finding. I don't know if that is something that'll be a profession or just something everyone can do. Maybe it'll be associated with a node type. We'll have to see. Moving forward, we get into the AMA, and some of the notable things I picked out were we got a question on resistances for damage types. So he has confirmed that different creatures and different monsters will have different resistance types. And that means we will have horizontal progression and certain builds that are good at certain things. So that gives you, you're less likely to establish a meta because, when you're going to fight a fire dragon or, let's just say a fire dragon, you may be looking for some kind of creature that is using ice or water, right? So if you have a build that is heavily based on ice or water, it doesn't matter if you're not doing the most amount of damage on a training dummy, because you're going to have to build the group based on the combat or on what fight you're going to go experience. Talked a little bit about corruption and how those will work. It's basically, yeah, if you have to go into these corrupted areas and fight them back every once in a while. If you don't, they start spawning monsters and they'll come out and start attacking, different points of interest and different things around your node and taking those down. So there will be sounds like there will be some stuff that will cause people within a node to work together regardless of their alliances, and that fits right in with the node being your top your top priority in terms of allegiance. Another thing he said that you will always spawn on the closest respawn point. And I may have been wrong here because I have said multiple times that I thought at one point he said it would be a random choice of where you're going to spawn. And I kind of like the idea of it being random. I would pick like the three closest points to the death and then randomly spawn you because, I mean, spawn camping is definitely a thing, right? And so if you only drop a portion of your materials, that's fine because then you respawn, you can run away if you need to or whatever. But if someone knows you have a super rare material on you, for example, if you're a streamer, they will figure out where the closest location is that they're going to kill you, send some friends there, and then they'll just kill you over and over again. And they don't care about the corruption that they get because you have a super rare material, right? Like there's a super rare material on you. They want that. They'll sacrifice some corruption, or a couple people can kill you, and then they'll have someone come in and wipe the corrupted people. Anyway, I just see some abuse here. So I don't know if they're open to changing that. We'll see how it feels when we get into testing, but it is a little concerning for me. And then a little bit about some cross server stuff. We heard about potential cross server arenas. I thought that was really cool, but he talked about it being like a special event. So at the end of like a season or before a big patch, after a lot of the content has been done, they'll take the top teams from each server and put them in a like a celestial death match where all this stuff. I thought that was really cool. As long as there's a lore reason for it, right? And so the more and more I hear about it, the more I think we're going to get a multiverse here. There's a reason for it. So yeah, we'll just have to stay tuned for that. But then, yeah, that's pretty much the main things I picked out of this dev stream. I would say like a lot of it was focused on talking about everything that happens behind the scenes. So they're talking about all the problems you can run into and like how they have to build and then test it with their QA team before they even release it to the public, the alpha, I mean, not the public, but the alpha 1 testers. So what I would say is a lot of this dev update was kind of focused at setting expectations for the NDA drop. I think they're trying to help people understand the whole development process and understand that why this game is buggy, why it's not ready, why we get, we're supposed to have a test yesterday and it got pushed to today. For those who haven't done testing, haven't done game development, it can get frustrating. I already know plenty of people that get a little frustrated because, oh, well, I was planning to test this day and now it's pushed back. It's just a part of it. And if they do drop the NDA, people need to understand that. And it's going to be up to us, the community members, and not just content creators, everyone in this community who is avidly following the game that understands how this is working. It's going to be up to us to temper expectations. Pop into different people's streams. And if you see a streamer or chat getting frustrated, try to, obviously, chat may turn on you, but try to be like, hey man, they've said this is a true test phase. This is not an early access game. This is not a ready game. We're a year, if not 2 or 3 years out from full release. We'll get into A2 with persistent testing soon enough. But yeah, so let's band together. Let's keep our community positive, and yeah, let's make sure when the NDA drops that we get an overwhelmingly positive feedback from people. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, stay tuned for the video tomorrow or Monday on the augments, the passive, or not augments, the passives. And yeah, thanks again for all the support. If you do like the content, obviously drop me a like and subscribe. Helps support the channel. But anyway, see you guys soon.